Have the pledge of the flag.
I have to order.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, on number 2, communications, we'll start with Liz Norris, presenting an update on the KYCL purchasing.
Good evening. I brought some handouts for you in addition to some items that are in the board packet. But I thought this would be easier for you.
You can lay it right there in case he makes it. Look here, she's not doing the microphone. You.
All right. I'm glad to be here this evening, and I wanted to give you a little bit of an update about our KYCL grant. I'm trying to get to where I can see the presentation
I know.
at the same time. So, we had the opportunity in December of 2024, which seems like forever ago, to apply for a state grant that was part of a federal sub-award. So in December of 2024, we submitted an application for a grant called KYCL 25. We were awarded that grant in December 2024 we applied, March 2025 we were awarded, and funds were released on June 1 of 2025. So we have been working through the grant since that time, and our first year focus has primarily been on professional learning, focusing primarily on unit and lesson internalization, which is a process that we have worked through to really dig into our curriculum and to implement it as intended, and that's the purpose of the grant. Recently, however, we've begun to looking toward a new high-quality instructional resource. So, the slide that you see now indicates which districts were actually awarded. So, if you count, there's approximately 38 districts across the state that received this grant. All right, Jake, next slide. The grant has 4 primary goals. They want every sub-grantee to use a high-quality instructional resource. They want every sub-grantee to use evidence-based, high-quality instructional resources to support high-quality teaching through explicit and systematic instruction in phonemic awareness, phonics, vocabulary, fluency, comprehension, and writing to accelerate reading proficiency for all students. The third goal is that every sub-grantee will engage in job-embedded curriculum-based professional learning, which has been our focus for 25-26, and they want every sub-grantee to increase family engagement and literacy development. And that's an activity that we're going to start working on this summer. The grant focus is to provide funding for districts to purchase high-quality instructional resources to support reading and writing for all age bands, early childhood, elementary, middle, and high school. But there's one distinct difference. Even though it says elementary, the only grades that the grant allows you to purchase curriculum for are grades 4 and grades 5. So we can purchase curriculum for early learning, which we have, which is on a much smaller scale. We purchased Pre-K On My Way in October of 2025, and we've done professional development on that in the spring. And we are looking toward purchasing a new high-quality instructional resource for grades 4 through 12 using KYCL funds effective August 24th when we start school. That's our goal. So in your board packet, you have the quote, you have an email from KDE saying that they will approve that purchase if we want to move forward with that. But you'll also know it's only for grades 4 through 12, because that's the only grades that we can purchase curriculum for. So we can do preschool, we skip K-3, and then we can purchase 4 through 12 with grant funds. It also allows us to provide 2 to 4 years of funding for districts to purchase sustained, job-embedded, curriculum-based professional learning aligned to the HQIR, including vendor-based coaching for implementation and support. Now, in this area, we can support K-3. So we've been able to utilize funds to support professional learning for kindergarten through grade 3, but we can't buy the curriculum with these funds. So we have used KYCL funds to support curriculum-based professional learning, early learning through high school this year. The grant actually specifies that there are 2 levels of activities. There are level 1 activities, which are basically purchasing a curriculum and purchasing professional learning. And then there are tier 2 activities, which may involve intervention. But you can only do that after you have met all of your level 1 activities and all of your funds have been committed for that. So at this time, we're still in level 1 activities. Other requirements for the grant is that you have to do it by levels. So on this slide, it notes that 16% of the total award must be used for birth to age 5, 42% for K-5, and 42% for 6-12. So we follow those guidelines. We have all of our budgets set up so that we know exactly how much funding that we're putting in at each level and each school. Initially, the award across 5 funding cycles was going to be $1.3 million. However, there was a slight increase when they actually got their final budget. So ultimately, our final award, we are a medium-sized school district, will be $1,337,534. And 100% of that goes toward curriculum and professional learning to help teachers teach that curriculum as it is intended. Grant purchases must align to grant goals and grant activities, and this varies a little bit from other programs. KDE has to approve every single thing we buy. So before we purchase any professional development, before we purchase any curriculum, I have to work with the grant program manager at KDE and submit our proposal. So the email that you see from Dana Steele is the lady at KDE who is our grant manager that we have worked with, and she said that our HQIR selection meets the criteria, and she will approve it if that's the direction that we want to go. So when we started this work, we started with an instructional vision, and we actually started this instructional vision around 2023, 2024. And we actually drafted instructional visions for all content areas. We did reading and writing, we did math, we did science, we did social studies. And all of those are in draft form. And we sort of got to a place where we needed to wait for the district to define a portrait of a learner. So all of those content areas have worked extensively. We have drafts of those, but it turned out to be it was a required activity for this grant, that you had to draft an instructional vision, you had to submit it to KDE, and that had to be in place before you could move forward with the selection of a new high-quality instructional resource. So we have a district literacy leadership team, and we have been meeting on a regular basis, and we took the existing draft of the instructional vision that we had for reading and writing, and we refined that and submitted that to KDE. Now that we have a portrait of a learner in place, we felt like it was appropriate to now bring that to the Board of Education. So one of the line items on the agenda tonight is to approve the instructional vision for reading and writing. And that's a required component for the KYCL grant. We've already turned that into KDE. But it's also the foundation for selecting your high-quality instructional resource. So this slide is directly from KDE. And it talks about the instructional vision, that it serves as our North Star or guiding light to where the direction that we want to work towards. It ensures everyone is aligned with a common language and observable indicators. It guides our decisions about curriculum, instructional resources, and professional learning. And it is a living, breathing, changing document that is regularly revisited. So when I review the process that we went through, we started with our curriculum team revisiting that instructional vision. That was the very first thing that we did, is we put the draft in the hands of the curriculum committee, and we asked them to read it and see if they still felt like it represented what our instructional vision for reading and writing was in our district. And they said it was, and with that concept in mind, they began to review the resources. So, HQIR adoption. KDE has a general definition of a high-quality instructional resource. It has to be aligned with Kentucky academic standards. It has to be research-based and or externally validated. It has to be comprehensive and engaging. It has to be based on fostering vibrant student learning experiences, culturally relevant and free from bias, and accessible for all students. So the local selection process determines selection criteria, identify potential HQIRs, evaluate those, and then select one. So the HQIR selection process has to be informed by the district's reading and writing instructional vision. It also has to adhere to KDE's characteristics of high-quality reading and writing, and we have to have stakeholder input. So to help with this process, and this is what's in your folder, KDE prepared a high-quality instructional resource list, and it, I believe, is the first document in your folder. And KDE, for the purposes of the KYCL grant, in order to get approval to purchase the HQIR, it has to be defined as green rated on a website called EdReports. So the pink papers in your packet are the actual EdReports for the HQIR that we're recommending for K-5, 6-8, and 9-12. So there's 3 separate ones. They're all on pink paper. So you will see that the HQIR that we are recommending is SAVIS, My Perspectives for 6 through 12, and My View for K through 5. And it is green rated. The second criteria is that it has to also be on KDE's approved resource list. So if you look at the white paper, I highlighted in purple where that resource is on the approved list. It's the SAVIS Learning Company My View Literacy 2025, SAVIS Learning Company My Perspectives 2025 for 6 through 8, and SAVIS Learning Company My Perspectives 2025 for high school. So, when we started this process, we knew that we needed stakeholder input, and this slide comes directly from the KDE KYCL overview that talked about the process we had to go through. And it says there has to be a reasonable review and response period for stakeholders, and create opportunities for stakeholders to provide input on the potential HQIR. It should include teachers, parents, community members, students, SBDM, and the Board of Ed. So I have set up samples, physical samples from the HQIR that they have selected. We actually did a community open house on June 11th from 2 until 6, where we invited anybody who wanted to come in. We were set up in the community room. We had every grade level sample set on display, plus access to the digital e-text and digital resources if anyone wanted to see those. We did not have any community members who attended. We did have some educators who stopped by and looked through some of the resources, but we did not have any community members who participated. We advertised it for 2 weeks in the newspaper, and then we also posted it on the district webpage and Facebook. On the next slide, what does that all mean, that it's green rated? So if you notice the text in black, bold, per the Kentucky Department of Education's Model Curriculum Framework and the Instructional Resources Consumer Guides, Ed Reports is a recommended starting point for district and school review teams to research available evidence-based materials. Ed Reports provides free reviews of K-12 instructional resources and offers comprehensive information about indicators of quality, including standards, alignment, and usability, from a number of publishers. Superintendents and district review teams can be assured that the green-rated resources identified by Ed Reports have at least 80% alignment to the Kentucky Academic Standards. And once again, this quote comes directly from the KDE document on appropriate selection process for H2IRs. So, we put together a curriculum review team that represented every single grade level K through 12. Every elementary school had 3 representatives. They had a primary representative, and they had an intermediate representative, and all levels and all schools had a special education representative. So we also invited any administrator who wanted to participate in the process. So on April the 17th, we met with the secondary. We provided release time so that they could come in and review resources. On May 4th, we brought in the elementary team. They had the whole day because we were working with multiple schools and multiple teachers. We also provided release time. We used grant funds to do that, and gave them access to the hard copies as well as the online format. And then we gave them about a month to think about it. So our process. So we'll go on to the selection criteria. So when we presented it to the team, basically we said, number one, it has to be green rated. It has to be approved by KDE. It also has to be recent and up to date. Our current resource is a 2020 copyright, and we are looking to choose this resource that we're going to have for several years. And it didn't seem to make a lot of sense to purchase a product that was already 5 to 10 years old that we were going to keep for 6 years. So we established for the committee that it could not be anything with a copyright date older than 2020. So that was the second primary criteria. Then the third criteria is that it had to be an aligned resource so we could offer that K-12. We did not want K-2 and doing one particular curriculum, 3-5 doing a curriculum, grade 6 doing a curriculum, grade 9 doing a curriculum. We looked through the KDE approved list and the green rated reports, and we identified vendors that had products that started with kindergarten and went through 12th grade, and we felt like that would give us more continuity and would reduce the gaps, especially if children were moving from Sand Gap to McKee or from McKee to Tyner, they would be getting the same curriculum. So, when we did the process, we looked at our current resource, which is HMH into reading and HMH into literature. And then we also looked at a new product by Savas, My View and My Perspectives. We currently have HMH. It is also coming out with a new product, but that product is not yet green rated. So we looked at what we currently had, which was a 2020 version, and then we looked at Savas. So, on May the 19th, we brought everybody together. May 19th was Election Day, so that was one of the activities that we did on Election Day, is we brought the curriculum committee team in with district administrators, school administrators. Ms. Smith was present, and we talked about the strengths and weaknesses and what we wanted to do with that curriculum. And ultimately, that group recommended that they would like to see us move forward as soon as possible with a Savas rollover for 4 through 12, and then to do K-3 as soon as we felt like we could. So, after that, we then began additional stakeholder input. Ms. Wade, who's the district reading coach, has been very involved in the process and facilitated all of those curriculum committee meetings. She also went out to all of the elementary schools and met with grade level teams and went through the curriculum and shared samples with them and gave them digital access. Then, after the committee met on the 19th, she went back out and she did basically this presentation for the SBDM. So the Site-Based Decision-Making Council had access to the information as well. So, based on all of that feedback, the committee would like to recommend that we use KYCL funds to purchase my perspectives and my view for grades 4 and 5 for next school year. Any questions?
On something that was up there, it said something about, like from birth up to a certain age, it's been 16%. Is anything, I mean, I don't know, was you doing something with the daycare, or is that not?
So, we have not worked with the daycare to this point. Our partners are Head Start, the district preschool, Save the Children Early Learning, then I never get the CEOC folks that are on the outside of McKee. Those are our partners at this point. So what we've done, and Anglo Christian Academy is our other partner. So we have focused this year on 4 and up, and we purchased Pre-K on My Way for the 9 district Head Start district preschool classrooms. We requested to purchase resources for the partners who didn't have formal classroom settings, and it was denied because it was considered Tier 2, and we didn't have Tier 1 taken care of. So that's on the back burner. And so our plan there is there's a companion piece to Pre-K My Way that's much more appropriate for an in-home setting, and that's what Early Steps, they often go into the homes and they do individual parent meetings with children. And the product would be much more aligned to that, and it would be much more appropriate for a daycare setting, but we did not get approval at this point to do that. But we're working toward that. Another piece is to support the Imagination Library, and we actually wrote that in our initial grant. And when we had striving readers in 2018, we were able to use early learning funds to support the Imagination Library in collaboration with the public library. And that was about the time the state legislators started doing matching funds with that. And so I checked in with Ms. Wagers probably early May, and we have about 6 months left. So we're thinking that that may be something that we want to continue to support. I think she said there's around 150 to 160 children who get a book each month with those funds.
Anyone else have any questions? Thank you very much. Thank you. Next, we have Alan Brown presenting the design progress update for Time and Sand Gap from ECHO.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm glad to be here. I know I'm probably a different face. Ryan is normally the one here, but for some reason he thought he could take a vacation with his family, so they sent me out here. But we're here today. We have a couple of I'm Alan Brown. I'm with Deco Architects. I'm working with Ryan on your projects here, so I am in the background. He's just the one they sent out and gets to meet you guys. And Steve Baker is our civil engineer. He's here with us today to go over some of the site elements that we didn't look at. And I understand we have 2 of these presentations to look at again. The sand gap one, I know we touched base on the last board meeting that we was at, so we'll flip through just as a refresher, and then I'd really like to touch more base on Tyner and let Steve talk about some of the site elements on sand gap in particular first, and then Tyner as we get there. So with this one in particular, it's a lot of the same information that we went through. Can you go down like that? So we have some. Right there would be good. So with Sand Gap, we had discussed last time I was here, we've got the new gym addition coming off the end, and we're trying to help alleviate some of the stress with the traffic flow through that area as far as bus routing, parent pickup, and things of that such. And Steve can touch a little bit on that here in just a second, but I know we had run through these last time, but that's the big thing with the side elements of it is getting some of that traffic freed up and making it safer and more efficient across the campus there. We've got some existing areas, and then like we seen last time, these are some case studies of areas, things that we're trying to help show what the design intent that we're presenting to you all is of, hey, these things have been implemented before and kind of how they work out. And right here we have kind of the axle showing that we've seen of the addition coming off in, and then the red area you'll see is, hey, we're touching that front canopy area, and we're doing some work in the existing cafeteria to make it a little more efficient with these moves that we're making across the board. And here, as far as plan-wise, on the far right side, you'll see the new gym area, the layout we discussed. I know it was a big deal for stage area to work some of that into the new gym prep, and then an interior lobby area for some of the events and seating in there. And on the far left side is a planned rework of utilizing the cafeteria space, the auditoriums, or the stage space that is in there right now, making sure we make the most of it if we're going to be moving that space down to the gym. And to touch back on some of the renderings from the last time that we were here, this is the gym side of the building, obviously, where we're trying to get some parking flow in there and also bring that face down to the main street when we're coming into the site. So when you have parents, visitors from outside that are coming in, this is going to be the face of what's coming up the hill onto the site. And here's just a little access. So this is right now at your existing school is that lower lot that you want to walk up all our steps to the main school. This is kind of a, hey, we're standing down here and just getting a general massing of that, it's a two-story gym building. Our new entry welcoming as we come in, as you pull in off the road onto our side, you got, hey, here's Sand Gap Elementary with that corner unit, and then the gym addition for the canopy and stuff on the side here, helping with some of that bus loading and unloading, keeping kids out of the weather and helping them navigate into the school without having to go all the way around the building or be inclement weather on certain days. And here, this one, which I think is pretty cool, but we've brought that front lobby area, even though we're trying to get some more involvement in the sports inside, but this will allow, this is traffic area up to the school, the stairs on the end, we're going up to our main foyer into the main school lobby, and then some concessions and restrooms that will need to be picked up when we're adding this extra square footage for events or just general classroom use when we're there, so we don't have to run all the way back up to the school for anything like that. And here's the interior, and we've seen most of these, but I like them every time I see them. But these trying to get a view of, hey, we're coming into, this is where we would be coming into the new gym at, and just trying to show, we're picking up 4 or 5 rows of seating there, and then the stage at the back end, showing that concept, freshen it up a little bit. And this is up at the top. I had just mentioned, hey, we're coming up from that bottom area, but if students are up, or if you're trying to integrate some more parking into that top area, this would be the foyer area, the hallway that connects to our existing school. And then we'll move back to the other side of the building with the cafeteria area. And these things, we're working in some elements of the school, and then trying to, I know acoustics are a big deal that we're trying to deal with, and bringing some natural light in for the students during, cafeteria, if we're in for lunchtime, breakfast, or if we're having events going on where we're bringing them in, trying to get natural light in, but control the acoustics of that existing space. So I know I went quick on that one. I'd like to touch more on time when we get there, but I would like to let Steve talk about the site stuff just for a minute, just so he can run through some of that. Is there a site? It is still.
same gap plan. And this full, it says full base.
Oh.
That right there. Good evening. As Alan said, my name is Steve Baker. I'm with Midwest Engineering in London, and first time I've had a chance to do before you. I first want to say thanks for the opportunity to work with DECO and their team. They're a fantastic group to be part of, and this has been a great project for us to be part of. We're honored to be on the team. We've kind of been working over the last 6 months, working on the site survey, which was especially challenging at Sand Gap. There's a lot of old deeds and old properties that haven't been touched in a while, so we needed to sort through all that. And this site is definitely a little bit of a challenging site to try to maximize every square inch, and that was our goal. So I'll just run through some of this real brief, because I know civil engineering is everything outside the building, so that's most of the stuff that nobody really wants to think about. And if we do our job well, you won't think about it, it'll just work, and that's our goal. So a couple things that really are critical to what we're trying to do. Number one is improve some of the drainage out front. So we listened to Ms. Smith and Ms. Masters and some of their staff about some of the challenges that they face out there with the facility. So we're trying to improve some of that. So we're adding a new sidewalk across the front of the building that ties into the new addition, so that we can have really good access, and then parking along the front with a curb, so it'll be a little safer and more defined. But really one of the big challenges Alan alluded to is being able to provide a parent loop separate from the bus loop, so that traffic in the morning and afternoons can get through there without a lot of congestion. It's going to be a little bit of congestion no matter where you're at, if you're out of school, but I think we've found a way to kind of manage that and utilize the space. So in this plan, the buses would essentially loop around the front at the new gym, and then the parent loop would be up top, and they'll be able to loop around, as you can see there. One of the challenges, we're trying to maintain at least the existing traffic parking space count, if not improve that and expand it. So we've added some auxiliary parking in the back of the loop, as well as across the front there. So that's really the biggest kind of overview of the site. So the drainage, and of course all of that will include new paving, new striping, and sealing of the existing asphalt as well. We've added a dedicated dumpster pad area, so that the dumpsters can actually have a dedicated spot that's not in the path of the parent loop as well. So I think that covers for the most part what our priorities are. I'll let Alan jump to timer, unless you have any questions for me right now or maybe later. I'd be glad to try to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now on this one, like Steve was saying, at any time, if you do have questions or want to stop me, go right ahead. I'll be happy to discuss during or after either one. But so this presentation here will be for Tyner. I know at our goals with this project, they had brought it to us, was we're trying to get a dedicated cafeteria space, kind of free up the gym area that's currently being used, revamp some of the classrooms, some of the finishes and things in there, try to bring them up to date since we're doing a addition already, and then handle some of the parking situation that's on the school right now. So kind of like the Sand Gap that we've already seen, we have some your current conditions that we have. We'd like to show these to kind of allude to what we're getting into with the design on how those improvements can help. So the interior right now, we're using that gym space as a cafeteria space, so we're getting the multi-use out of it with what we have. But what we'd like to do here is show you kind of the design intent and how we can move forward with adding that cafeteria addition onto the school. Right now, your existing conditions, some of the loop for the buses and the traffic kind of overlap, and our understanding is, with games going on and just general parking was some concern there. So the proposed site plan helps to pick up some minor parking around in the back towards the first baseball field here, add some parking into there and a loop back. And then our areas on the southeast side of the building here that we've got noted, picking up a new covered area for buses, parent drop-off. We can get kids in and out there. I know canopy now is kind of going back in place, but freshening it up with the addition. An outside courtyard, like a classroom area we can come out, is right in the middle of there at the addition, and then the cafeteria addition at the northeast part of the building down there will come off the gym area, because what we're trying to do is utilize your existing kitchen space and reduce as much change as we have to there. And we would just be moving our serving line into this new area and utilize the existing kitchen area that you currently do. So our existing floor plan, we've had these surveys from some of the K-Fix items that we've done, and we've utilized this to kind of see what programming needs, how we fit the new cafeteria layout into the floor plan. So this will be plan of cafeteria and then how it adjusts to the gym. So on your left side there, we've taken the cafeteria addition off to the top right with the exterior courtyard, and what we've tried to do is keep the trees that are outside of the building for their importance, and then add some seating and some ease of connection from the gym area to that outside classroom area if needed, and then get some of the space over to this new cafeteria area that you can see on the right there. We're adding a new serving line, storage area there, and then we're punching into the existing kitchen and cafeteria area. And it was brought up that one of the concerns was accessibility to the new cafeteria area, and currently we have to come around the bottom side of the plan here and down and around to the gym, and we actually were able to make it work so that from your existing building we can provide a ramp and leave. We currently have where the kids return their dishes and things that we've been able to stop it short to keep using that, but allow accessibility down to the gym floor and to the new cafeteria level without having to go down and around the bottom side of the school. And we've shown right now some window to get some lighting into the cafeteria while kids are in there, and then within those spaces are some interactive areas if this does need to be used for any kind of flex space. We can kind of pull some kids in there, and they have alcoves to sit in, and we have thoughts of adding some facts and just passive learning elements into those parts of the cafeteria. So these inspiration images are case studies that we've been looking at, kind of deciding what needs that the district has presented us with, and elements of how some of them have been implemented in real life already. So here's an overall AXO of that center courtyard, which I failed to mention just a little while ago, but trying to make that, utilize that in a better way of where we can make it manageable, it can be taken care of and get used more regularly. And then on the bottom side of your building here is we're showing how that addition ties into the school. So we're trying to, that building, it's an addition, but we're trying to make it not be an afterthought, where it fits in with the aesthetics of the rest of the school. And we'll see some of that here in just a second. Go forward. So here's here's your existing gym, a view from the back, that proposed back parking area that we had mentioned, looking back at the cafeteria, and this would be the south or east side in plan that we've just seen. And you know, you can go a couple routes with these where we're trying to tie it into the building. You can try to go with the aesthetic of the building and brick, but it's very hard to get those to tie into. You can try, and we can get the same brick and match it. So we thought, okay, well, you know, with the Cardinals, we're tying it in. We're metal siding. We're trying to be cost efficient, but make it look, you know, it's something that everybody's proud of and that stands out when you come into it. It's a piece, hey, this is a piece that we've added to the building for betterment of the kids. And if we go to the next one, we can see the inside of it. So again, with adding all these buildings and with the amount of students that will be here at the time. Acoustics are always, that we run into at the forefront of the mind. So that's why the ceiling, you'll see these acoustical panels designs. These are pretty standard panels that we can get from manufacturers. We've looked at a few already and showing them with design intent, but as you can see here, we've kind of aligned each of the seating areas for the kids with the windows for natural lighting to come in, and those alcoves is the red bumps back there, and the thoughts there is we'll get some kind of graphics that, you know, the kids are reading about vegetables or food pyramids or just different things to help, you know, as they're there talking, or they're maybe wondering eyes can look around, they're learning something while they're enjoying time with their friends at lunch. And so then we'll go to more of the middle existing, that courtyard that we have already. You know, the thought there is to kind of get an exterior space where you can get kids to enjoy, you know, some daylighting and be outside and take a class out there on a specific day, or we have different times where we want to move them to the exterior. So the thought is to keep it where the maintenance is, it's attainable, but also where we're in the center of the building, as mostly it's hard to keep, it's hard to get just mowers or anything in and out of there. So what we're looking at doing is some hardscape or maybe turf or something that allows it to be used quite regularly, but still be maintained for a long time in a pretty efficient manner. And that leads into, as we're good into the school, one of the items that brought up was kind of a refresher, and this one we've kind of taken just a general, this is looking out into the courtyard, one of the classroom wings, but when we were doing this, would like to say this is more of a finishes. We've got some new flooring, wall paint, and ceilings, trying to bring the vibrant up. What we're showing currently, so the design intent of what you're seeing right here would be an LVT flooring, new acoustical ceilings, and new wall paint, which again is going back to where, you know, we've got to be as efficient, budget conscious and efficient as we can, but in doing so we've brought in some of these materials that work. This is a LVT that we're showing on the flooring, so as opposed to like a epoxy or a terrazzo floor that has some maintenance and higher initial cost to it, but this it has pretty good wear layers, and there's pretty good design variation with it, so we're not limited to just solid squares that go in there. Go to the next one, please, which is in the hallway. And I would like, if there are any questions here in particular, this one is the same concept. We're bringing in new ceilings, new paint, just revamping what is there, door frames painted, trying to bring a little life into the existing building, since we are doing the work at the exterior and adding that cafeteria. And again here, you know, with the trail that's shown in the hallway area, and then the red and gray LVTs, these come in sheets or rolls, and we can get that pattern made into those pretty efficiently. And as in some of the concept here with the renderings, the kids are, you know, there's some thought behind some sensory panels that are down through there, which is in concept right now, but it's thoughts that we'd like to show and talk about, you know, some interactive things that, you know, they've got showing these games or touch, feel, you flip some pages and learn a few things as, you know, we're waiting in the hallway, or we're going between classes, or the kids are coming for orientation with their teachers. But next one, please. And that does it for that one. And I know this is the first we've seen or of the updated things, so I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any, or let Steve talk. I know we've got a few side elements here as well, but I'd be happy to talk about anything at all if there is. Okay. Well, thank you. I'll let Steve talk about some of those, but if you think of anything at all, will just let me know.
So this is an overview of the site at Timon. Alan did a great job of explaining kind of what the goals, I guess, of the addition are, but I wanted to look at, just real briefly, just some Probably less exciting things to most people, but folks like myself that think about concrete and blacktop and dirt all the time, this is the kind of stuff we focus on. So, but I do think it will provide a huge benefit, not just to the school, but as the community uses this campus quite a bit for the ball fields and other things. So there's some areas in the parking lot that are kind of showing their age and kind of need to be undercut and replaced, and so we've kind of identified those, and we're going to provide a resealing of everything, so when we're done with patching and fixing some of the weak spots, everything will be restriped and it'll match and look really good and fresh. The other big thing with this site is we're proposing an expanded parking area down below the school, adjacent to the playground and the ball field. And that space, as it's shown there, provides an additional 80 parking spaces. So many years ago, I had a son that played a middle school baseball game at that exact spot, and I remember the parking challenges. So I'm hoping that'll help be a benefit to everybody that uses this campus for a lot of reasons. So that's really the primary focus of our work there on this campus. Like I said, if we have any questions about anything about that, I'd be glad to try to answer them or fill in any details that we missed. Thanks again for the opportunity to present.
And thank you guys.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, next is presentation by our superintendent, Renee Smith.
I didn't bring a copy with me, so. I'll folks get it through where I can see. So, this is the fun time of the year. It is my evaluation time, and so I have made a PowerPoint of just a few things, some highlights for the 7 standards that I am evaluated on. Even though we sort of touch on everything during the year, it's a good thing just to look at as a whole. So these things you'll already have heard Liz talk about, since that is such a huge part of our job. So standard 1 is strategic leadership, and some of the things that we have accomplished this year is the completion of our portrait of a Jackson County learner. You can see the picture of the banner here. Dr. Kirby has ordered one for every school, and we should have one in here the next time, and one in our lobby. The community collaboration for successful learners, shared goals and high expectations for successful teachers and students, district leadership teams focusing on direct learning in all schools, communication with all staff of needs being met professionally and instructionally, and curriculum review and analysis. And as you can see in that picture too, that's when the community came together and came up with the portrait of a learner, because that's what it's about, is not just academics, but socially and everything, like out in the community. What is a successful learner to you? So everybody had their input. And these were things that we focused on in the community and our district. Next one. Standard 2 is instructional leadership. As you can see here, this is when my principals and I went to Elgin, the Elgin retreat. The high school principal was not present at the time. The high school is usually not included in Elgin, but for this upcoming year, that is something I've already included. We will have a new we do have a new principal at our high school, and he will be in this program as well. So individual meetings with principals about goal setting with students and staff, analyzing iReading and KSA data at the school and district level, creating action plans to show student and staff growth, regular instructional rounds to monitor rigorous teaching, professional consultants working with staff such as EPIC, SESC, Elgin, and NISL. I did send Mr. Vaughn, Ms. Philpott, Mr. Muncie, and Mr. Bowling all went to NISL this year. That's a nationally recognized leadership team that they all got training in this year, and I've already reserved spots for the new principals for the upcoming year. And then, of course, feedback and coaching based on individual needs. Standard 3 is cultural leadership. And we all know that culture is everything, whether it be district level or school level. I do attend district events, not only sports, but academics and community as well. Heather and I did go around and hand deliver food to all the schools and fed them during Staff Appreciation Week. Everybody did really enjoy that. It's the little things like that that make everybody feel appreciated. Regular school visits and participation, Dr. Seuss Week, that's one of my favorites. I get to go into the classrooms and read to the kids. Halloween, Christmas, as you can see the picture up here. And my whole staff here at the central office participates, and it's really fun. And the kids love to see us show up in a bus. The bus garage brings us a bus over and a driver, and they drive us around to all the schools. And needless to say, I'm pretty bus sick by the end of the day. But it is totally worth it. And this year, of course, was Toy Story, and the kids absolutely loved it. And I think my staff enjoys it just as much, too. The attendance belt, and I didn't have a picture up here. That is something that we have really focused on this year. You all know that attendance is huge in our schools, and it has improved a little this year. But Mr. West Bishop, which is our DPP, came up with the idea of a wrestling belt. Because you got to come up with something that kids really get into. And I can't believe I didn't have a picture on my phone. I had them through everything else. But there were weekly competitions. And once the kids figured this out, because you know everybody loves good competition, so I have to say the middle school or the high school never won it. And you know, it is bigger and it's a little harder, you know, for those older kids to get them in. But hopefully next year they're going to be better. But it kept going back and forth between all three elementary schools, and they were very, very competitive. And I have to say McKee ended up with it at the end of the school year. So everybody wanted it that last week because they got to keep the belt all summer and hang it up on their wall. So that was it was a good thing. You got the kids back into it, and they just really, really pushed and helped our attendance improve. The cab giveaway, that's the picture here at the bottom. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was for our whole community. It was right before school started, and we had a huge turnout for that. It was up at the high school. The mountain was full. It was hot, but it was wonderful seeing everybody that came through. We had a line, and they would literally pull up in their cars, and we would load their cars for them. And it was greatly appreciated from the community. And then, of course, we have regular district leadership meetings here as well. Next, standard 4, human resource leadership. I built relationships and trust to ensure strong communication, because we know that's crucial as well, to be able to communicate what our schools really need. Individual meetings with staff to discuss expectations and needs, observations and evaluations to make sure performance meets proficiency. Dedication and commitment to our district. Mentors provided for new and/or struggling staff, and individualized professional learning for all. And this is probably one of the harder parts of my job, and I get a bad rap sometimes because hard decisions have to be made, and moves have to be made sometimes within the district for what's best for our students. It's never anything personal, and it's all based on data, observations, evaluations, and just being in those schools and seeing what's best for our students. Standard 5, I hope y'all love this picture. I literally drove a bus. I loved it. Managerial leadership. Have regular meetings with finance to discuss and maintain our budget. Regular meetings with all departments and schools. Regular audit of programs to ensure money isn't wasted on unused materials. Technology is updated regularly. School renovations are concluding and new ones are beginning. Building upgrades monthly. Communication with transportation is needed for safety plans and routes. And communication with emergency management for updated plans. The top picture, that's just that was when the news, of course, posted where we started adding the 19 minutes on a day, and you know, some people didn't understand it, but most did. This one deserved just a slide on its own, Jackson County Middle School renovation. I love the red, white, and blue. It is so bright and beautiful. You all got to do the walkthrough. I added the kitchen photographs just because that wasn't something that was originally in the plan when I first came on the job. And we added it because it definitely needed it. And it's very nice over there now to work in that kitchen. Standard 6, the collaborative leadership, regular communication with board for updates, regular communication with board attorney for legal updates and assistance. And it's been told that I depend on my board attorney quite a bit, and I do. That's what he gets paid for, and he's been great to reach out to anytime we need him. Cooperative member and regular networking opportunities. Adding JAG at JCMS after a successful year at JCHS. Use of social media and newspapers to keep community informed. And Daniel Boone provides employment opportunities for our students. We do have a couple as our students actually work in our district, much less out in the community. Jordan Hayes, some of you might have seen that at our award ceremony. He has placed many kids out in the community and they get paid and they help with the pay. So of course the employers look forward to that because they get extra help and don't have to provide that pay. And then that teaches the kids some responsibility in getting ready for jobs. Standard 7, influential leadership. I am now, I don't think any of y'all know that. I am an executive committee member for KDC. They have asked me to sit on their executive board, which is a huge accomplishment for me. I meet with legislators to advocate for Jackson County. I have published 2 separate chapters in these books for colleges to use for administrator courses. That's something that I've not really, I don't know if you all even know that, but I was somewhere the other day and I got a text from somebody that used to work here and said, hey, I was taking a class here at WKU and saw a familiar name, and she sent me a screenshot of my name in the book because I've done 2 separate ones that they use for administrative classes, which is, I'm pretty proud of that too. Regular legislative meetings and updates and support students, student clubs, pathways, activities such as our FFA, FBLA, FCCLA, JROTC. You all might have seen last week our FFA did really great, state level. We've got a couple going on to national competitions. This is a picture down here. Our FCCLA went to the nursing home at Christmas, and listen, you talk about smiles on faces. Heather and I both went and met them there and got to watch that, and it was really fun to watch. So, some accomplishments from the 25-26 school year. Of course, our graduating class. I go every year and take a picture with the graduating class before graduation days. This was our high school down here, and they were green. Sand Gap moved up to green from another one, and there's another picture after this from that. But just a few things that I don't think I mentioned up above in the other stuff, but our Little General's Learning Center, which is our daycare. We have 30 enrolled back there right now, and that's with 4 employees, and we have more. We're at max capacity. We're only allowed to hold 40. So we're very excited about that. Everybody wanted to watch it, so we will be hiring a couple more employees and getting them trained this summer and getting them in there. We've got like 11 babies signed up right now, and that's a lot. And you should see that. We've only got 7 cribs in there right now, so we've got to buy some more cribs. And actually, we're to the point, I think I might have told Mr. Neely this, of having to turn people away, which is a sad thing, but great knowing that it has been that successful. I'm very proud of that. JAG at the high school, that was an accomplishment, just like I said earlier. It was a successful year, so I asked to bring it to our middle school. And we do get to bring it to our middle school this upcoming school year, so I'm tickled about that. Our turf football field and track, if you've not gone up and seen the football field, it is completed, but the track is not yet. They're getting ready to start on the end. It is beautiful. District level reading and math coaches, which have helped our student achievement, our teacher achievement. They feel more confident. They have had extra coaching that helps our administrators as well, so it's just an overall boost to our district. Increased student enrollment at the middle school. That is something a lot of kids, when they would get up to the middle school here, would leave, and they're coming back. So we are making improvements there, and our enrollment is up at the middle school the most it's been in a few years. Completion of the middle school renovation, almost. Beginning renovations for Sand Gap and Tyner, which we're super excited about. creation of elementary cross-country and track teams, and creation of a wrestling team, and the 2% pay increase for all staff. So I think that's great for Jackson County. We are growing and we continue to grow, and we're seeing our students be successful, and that's what it's all about. When our students are successful, when our teachers have been successful, and we have to provide all the support we can for that in order to make that. I can't do that alone. I have to have a team. Miss Liz back here is wonderful. I couldn't make it without her. She's a busy lady, just like me. We're constantly catching up and going over things. And but I have a great central office staff as well. And like I said, it takes a team. You all know that, to do things. Do you have any questions for me? Okay. Thank you all very much. Oh, wait a minute, there were more pictures. Look here, sorry. It's okay. I forgot. I just wanted to show some things. Of course, there's the football. This is our real football field. It's not just a picture. That's a drone over top. Here's the pictures of our daycare. Love it. And this was me going down the slide with the kids. That was at St. Gap when they moved to Green. I went to celebrate with them that day, and you can see the kids going in. They're like, "There's no way you can do that. You're old." And I said, "I can do it." So I did it. Now, it didn't hurt me as bad as I thought, but it was fun. As you can tell by the look on my face, I didn't know Nancy was going to take a picture, but he did. So check to the next one. Here were some things, just improving the buildings, like we said. That looks great. The donations from Jackson County Bank and PRTC for our sign over at the middle school. These were my chapters I actually wrote in the books. And this is my staff here when we were representing cancer awareness. Because my staff and I, like I said, don't get recognized enough. I don't get to give them enough credit. And so they love me when I say, "Hey, let's go take a picture." They're like, "Really?" So you can imagine when trying to find somebody to take the picture. So I think, is there another? That's it. I didn't even go over this. My next steps. That's what it was. Look here, I jumped to it, didn't I? Sorry, guys. We're going to share a portrait of a learner with the district and community. We're developing our local accountability system, which is a part of that. We'll be implementing an induction program, and that is for new teachers. We're going to have like a new teacher academy, and it will be like for the first year down to up to 3 years. Implement a new administrator program. We have 3 new principals out of 5 schools. That's a lot of new administrators. Elgin will be helping, but we know that's not enough, for that one person to come into the district and meet with them. So I will be implementing that. Develop a strong public relations branding. I feel like that's something Jackson County needs. Not just me getting on Facebook and sharing things, but we really want to work on that and enhance it. Pursue more grants for our district. We're already working on 2 right now that I'm hoping to get, and there's a couple more that's out there. KDC just got a hold of me 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I have partnered with Tyner Library, and we're going to have another literacy enhancement. I had to have a library to do it with, and that, to me, that school needed more help, more updates than any, so Ms. Poe agreed to do that with me, so we're going to have a grant there. Of course, continue to support our students and staff. Work to improve our transportation department. As you all know, that's another one that we have had an interim over there, and I will be interviewing Thursday for that position, so hopefully next week have a new director of transportation in place for that. But not only that, but our whole department itself as far as rerouting buses. I will hear out in the community, "Hey, I just met a bus, had like maybe 8 kids on it." And I know our district is rural, and it's spread out. But I know there's a way to make it better. So we're going to look at that. There are days we don't have enough bus drivers, so I want to look into putting it back to teacher retirement. Back in the day, the good old days, most of your teachers drove a bus because it went into their teacher retirement. Now it does not. They're considered subs, so people that's driven for 25 years make the same as like a new bus driver coming in. I don't think that's right, and I think you should, you deserve, you've stayed with us 20 years driving, you deserve some credit for that. And if that's paid into your retirement, I think that's the least we should do. I think too, that will help. Teachers here every day, you're gonna have a bus driver every day, you're not, looking for a sub. And then last, of course, strengthen our relationships within and outside the community. Thank you for allowing me to continue being a servant leader for our students, staff, and community. I love Jackson County and want to see our district pursuing success and growth. I think that's it. I jumped the gun. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay, 2A is substitute report and personnel report attached. So we'll move on to 3, approval of bills and claim. I need a motion. I need a second. Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Yes for me. That takes us down to number 4. We're going to have a discussion, presentation for nursing contract for the school year of 2026 to 2027. There'll be no action. There's just going to be a presentation at this time, and we'll start with
Access help.
Access Health.
And there is a microphone if you guys want one, but you don't have to, it's up to you.
Let me see if I can talk about it. I hate a microphone. I'm Elizabeth Frederick, and thank you all so much for having us here tonight, and I represent Access Health. And I did send over a proposal. I think everyone probably has a copy of it. I guess, Ms. Smith, the question would be, do you want me to just read the proposal and let them ask questions? How do you want me to do
That's
this?
up to you guys, whatever you want her to do. Do you have a preference, any of y'all? Whatever you feel most comfortable with.
Okay. I'm representing Access Health, based in Margaretville, Kentucky, on behalf of Dr. Richard Carter. He had a previous engagement that he couldn't be here. He is available by phone if anybody has any questions. And it was brought to our attention that you all were accepting proposals for the district school nurse project. We have been providing family medical care in southeastern Kentucky for 40 years and currently offer school health services to Knox County, Wichita County, and Prevent Independent. I'm the school health coordinator. I have 20+ years experience in doing that. We will provide, our goal is to provide a school nurse, either an RN or an LPN, at all 5 Jackson County schools, which includes Jackson High, Jackson County Middle, Sandow, McKee, and Tyner. In addition, we will also have a full-time float to cover when the assigned nurse is unavailable. The nurses will be employed and paid by Access Health at no cost to the Board of Education. These nurses take care of daily meds for students with chronic medical issues and will also enter immunizations and other required information as provided to the nurses by the school staff and to Infinite Campus. We do not bill for those services. We also provide for acute care needs of students and staff. We provide our services by performing enhanced telehealth visits. We will have school nurses communicating with either a nurse practitioner or a physician's assistant and documenting these visits in EMR. The nurse practitioner and PA can also provide treatment and school excuses for the illness such as prescription for strep if the parent so desires. The parent is always contacted to see if they would like a prescription or if they want their child even swabbed or not. All acute visits are, of course, billed to the insurance. Access Health does accept whatever the insurance pays for each visit, and all students will be evaluated regardless of the insurance status or the ability to pay. Parents may receive an explanation of benefit for these services, and if they do, that's anybody has private insurance. If you get seen by a doctor, of course, you're going to get an EOB. Another thing that had been brought to our attention is that the board was looking for someone to do some urine drug screens, and we can do in-house urine drug screens. Of course, it would be paid for by the board at the cost of $25 per screening. All of our MPs and PAs that work in the school health for Access only have duties associated with school health. They do not have any other clinical duties at all that would distract them from their focus of the students or that would cause delays in care. We pride ourselves on providing the highest quality care possible and would be happy to further provide any and more detailed information on our school health program if you would like. We also do encourage you all to contact one or all of our current districts for recommendations on the quality of care that we provide. And that was the proposal that I sent over to the board. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them to the best of my ability.
So like, I think we discussed earlier, like strep test, flu, COVID, would the board have to pay for that, or would you provide
No,
those?
ma'am, we provide those.
Drug screening, is that still takes time, you just don't know right then, right?
We usually know within 15 minutes whether or not it's positive or negative.
So that's a rapid,
Yes, it is.
so does that stand up like, say, there was a bus driver or something, and their employment was in question? I mean, like right now, what do we do? It goes out.
Yeah, and I think she said, maybe when she, and I've talked to so many, that you send them off if you're not sure. or-
Okay, so you're talking about the drug screens, I'm sorry.
Yes.
If the drug screens, if it comes back positive, then we would write an order, or nurse practitioner or PA would write an order for them to go to the hospital for a chain of command.
Okay,
Drug
so
test.
that's just rapid drug screens?
Yes, it's
Okay,
a drug
okay.
screen, yes.
Gotcha.
And I think it tests us for either 12 or 14 of the drugs. Don't quote me on that, but it's either 12 or 14.
The most common, probably?
The most common, yeah, and a few of them it's not real common, but it like, I don't know what it's like here, but in Knox County, if you go to the ER, it's a 7-panel, that's all you get. So you're getting about double with that.
Do y'all have any more questions?
Now,
So,
if you get this, you want to have a local place, like a kid, some other after hours or something, meet you or something.
we will not have a local clinic, no, sir.
Any more questions?
And you're based in?
Barberville, Kentucky.
That costs you?
That's it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Health Express.
Hello.
Thank you all for having us this afternoon. My name is Tommy Fields. I'm the program director and one of the nurse practitioners with Health Express. I'll just give you a little about Health Express. I won't actually read off of this. I think a copy was provided for everyone. Okay. So Health Express was opened in 2004 by Dr. Emmanuel Humane. He couldn't be here tonight. He's at the hospital. He is the chief of staff at the hospital in London. He opened the practice in 2004, and he's been going strong since. Very locally owned and operated there in town. The services that we provide primary care, urgent care, behavioral health. We have a variety of services that we offer to the community. So our goal is to become a partner with Jackson County to provide services to your students and staff here in the school at no cost to the Board of Education. So most importantly, what we want to do is limit the time that students are out of school and that staff is out of school. We will set up a small clinic in each of the 5 schools, and what we will be providing is a nurse in each of the schools, and at times we will have 3 nurse practitioners that will be in the schools as well. We will rotate those nurse practitioners throughout the schools, and we will also offer telehealth services if needed in the event that a nurse practitioner is not in the school. So we will set up, again, small clinics. What sets us apart kind of from others is that this will be the only district that we are partnered with. We don't have any other schools, and we are actually using Angel Edwards. She runs the program at Clay County, and it's very successful there. We're collaborating with her, and she's helping us set the program up and how things would go. So what questions do you guys have?
So currently, you do not have any school
We
programs?
do not have any school programs.
And you're based out of London?
Based out of London, locally owned and operated, and our main goal is to take care of the students in Jackson County.
You said you'd have sometimes as many as 3 nurse.
We will have 3 nurse practitioners that will rotate between the 5 schools.
So you won't have a nurse at each school?
We will have a nurse at each school.
But
We
you
will
have
have,
those other 3 rotating
Yes.
also?
we will have 5 nurses, the RN or LPN, and 3 nurse practitioners.
Now are you fully staffed already?
We are fully staffed, and this will be at no cost. I know one of the questions that was asked earlier is about the strep and COVID and flu swabs. Those will be at no cost to the board.
But this is the first time that you all come into the school to do
It is the
that.
first time that we've been in the school district, but again, Ms. Edwards, she runs a very successful program at Clay County, and we are collaborating with her.
Does anybody else have any questions or anything?
No.
We thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right. Now we have family health.
Good evening, Superintendent. Good evening, board members. My name is Crystal Davidson. I am the Director of the School Health for Family Health Care, and this is Faith Ball. She's my partner tonight to give me support while I'm talking to you all.
And I'm also the Executive Administrator at Family Health Care as part of Crystal.
So Family Health Care has been involved with your school health. We've been part of it for 10 years now. We're excited about the new year coming up, and thank you for taking the time to let us come and speak with you. But as you know, you have our contract. You guys kind of already know what we offer. We do the COVID, the flu, strep without cost to you all. I think everything we've done so far, we don't charge anything to the Jackson County District. We are excited because we've added some new additions onto our school health. We noticed this year too that the Kentucky Board of Nursing and the KDE kind of got together, and they've talked a lot about mental health. And as you know, our nurse practitioner that is involved in your health care here is a mental health specialist as well. And they are encouraging that we be more proactive with that in treatment and counseling and things. We also do CDLs. We also will be adding the drug screens as well at no charge to you guys. And, you know, we do vision, hearing screens, and we're excited that we did get on the Vaccines for Children program. So we'll be able to make sure that your kids are compliant with that as well. And something that I just wanted to add that we were able to offer for the upcoming year is that we were able to get your CPR, your staff certified at a nominal decrease in the rate. I think most of the time that's about $45 a person. We got that for $8 a person coming up this year. So we were excited to be able to offer that to your district here. So, and we do sports physicals. As you know, Brittany comes into the schools. The nurses get those organized. She comes in and gets those taken care of for. There's no parents having to bring their kids to the clinic for that. We come to the school and do that for you all, as well as acute visits, taking care of your staff. And again, at no charge, we just bill the insurance and what they pay, that's what we take. If you have children that have no insurance, which is a big deal with the big beautiful bill coming up, there may be quite a bit of people losing their insurance. We're going to write those off and do those at no charge or no cost, as well as staff. So, do you all have any questions for me?
And I will mention that, so we have 17 nurse practitioners, so there's not a wait time for the students. So if, you know, we currently now have nurse practitioners that see them. Now, we have 17 others. If that nurse practitioner is not available, we have 17 others that are able to jump in and get those kids taken care of.
So there's very little waiting time with the telehealth. We say 5 minutes. If you don't hear from your provider, then our nurse practitioner will pick up and take that call and take care of those kids and staff.
You are located, you have an office.
We have a clinic near here.
in-
Yes,
Right.
in Anvil, yes.
And on the drug screen, are those rapid and then you have to
They'll be
send
rapid
off?
unless there's a description, and then we'll send it out for you. Yeah.
And those can be done at our Anvil clinic or whatever, however we want to do that, but we can, you all could be sent to the Anvil clinic and we can do it right there, and you all would have them right then and there.
And you all don't charge for these drug screens?
We're not
We
charging
do
for the
not,
drug screens.
sir.
Anybody else have anything? Mr. We appreciate you.
Thank you so
coming.
much.
Yeah.
We have a lengthy agenda. If some of you all need to have prior engagements, you're more than welcome to leave. You're welcome to stay, either way.
And I will say too, the no action tonight is because it's like 2 more days that we can accept bids. If not, you will be hearing from me as far as a special call board meeting to vote and take action on that. But I will let everybody know in a timely manner. You're welcome.
Okay, we're going to go down to number 5, approval of minutes from May 18th, 2026 regular board meeting. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yeah.
Yes for me. Number 6, approval of federal cash request statement for assurance for the fiscal year of 2026-2027. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yeah.
Eddie?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 7, approval of the Jackson County High School Jobs for America's Graduates Program memorandum for the fiscal year of 2026-2027. I need a motion.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yeah.
Yes for me. Number 8, approval of the Jackson County Middle School Jobs for America's Graduate Program for the fiscal year 2026-2027. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yeah.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 9, approval of the Kentucky Association for School Administration Premier Direct Dues for the Superintendent. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yeah.
Yes for me. Number 10, discussion and/or approval for the fiscal year 2027 bidding for district services. It's for the Jackson County Bank and then the South Fork Mowing Services. I need a,
Wait, this was just bidding for district mowing services?
it was changed on
Oh, the one I've got just says mowing services?
That's what it all says here.
it's changed on the,
Remember, I changed it online and just.
She
didn't-
probably
Okay,
figured this
it
out.
didn't get pinned. Yeah, so what's,
online is the district services.
okay.
Okay.
Is that
So
okay?
you picked on the
I,
district one?
this was,
What was your recommendation, Renee?
Which one?
Jackson County Bank and the choices were Jackson County Bank and Citizens Bank. We went with Jackson County Bank, and then mowing services was South Fork. Here's the teacher, and Larry Collins. And my recommendation was South Fork mowing.
You know, have they, are they going anywhere else?
Which ones?
The South Fork.
That's who does ours now and did it last year. As far as any other places, I do not know. I've not asked them. That's, Miss Masters took care of that.
any questions? I need a motion.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yeah.
Eddie?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 11, approval of District School Safety and Resiliency Act Trauma-Informed Approach Plan for the school year of 2026-2027. I need a motion.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yeah.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Yes for me. Approval of the 2025-2026 Gifted Talented Summative Evaluation Report. I need a
Make
motion.
a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yeah.
Yes for me. Okay, on this number 13, Mr. Blevins, was you going to discuss this? It's concerning the first reading of the customized Kentucky School Board Association for the policy and procedure updates for number 30 and number 49.
Yes, I can if you all want to know about them. There are, it's probably the thickest
I've been doing this 8 years now, and I think it's the thickest one-year change I've ever seen. So I don't know if you all flipped through them all.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah,
It
They
was
were
an
all emailed
attachment.
to you. Yes.
yeah. So it's pretty
And I
heavy.
emailed them secretly, yeah.
I have a summary here, and I can scroll down through it if you all just want me to go down through what I think are the major changes.
This is just the first reading. though.
This is just the first.
This don't approve anything.
This
Right,
don't, no,
right.
the next meeting's when they would be approved.
That gives you time to more.
Well, I've been through them, like I've got a summary of each one I kind of made, but there's just a lot there. I mean, I'll just tell you, there's a lot, we have a lot of legislative action this year, and then some Supreme Court cases affected some other parts of it. But I will tell you the thing about these changes, you all, like pretty much every other board in the state, subscribe to Kentucky School Board Association. They have a team of attorneys and analysts whose whole job is to watch all this stuff and keep the policies up to date. That's why they send these recommendations. I mean, they literally year-round watch state and federal laws be passed and watch the case law come down, and then once a year send us out recommended policy changes. That is all they do. So none of these things do I really question. They're just necessary changes the law is now going to require. But you all being informed as to what those changes are important. Big one, you know, and this came up, if y'all remember a couple of years ago when Senate Bill 2 was up for debate on school funding, there was a lot of politicking going on basically about Senate Bill 2. Now they have changed our duties and powers where we can't take positions on things. You know, they actually make it a felony in another law if you're a school employee advocating on school times and resources. I'm not a big fan of that one, but that's the change. Policy 1.111 will be changing. Requires districts to display academic information on our website. Policy 141, organizational meetings. This isn't going to be too big a change for us, but there were some districts in the state that weren't electing chairman at any sort of regular interval. Now you have to do it at least every other year, hold elections and organizational meetings. 1.411 changes. Just changes the responsibilities of the chair and vice chair to be compliant with KRS 16270 and KRS 16440. Policy 1.42, the regular meetings, requires us to post our meeting times in both Eastern and Central Time, which I thought was
Crazy, wasn't it?
kind of interesting, but you know, we're a state that has both times within the state, so they legally now, when we post our meeting times, we have to put an Eastern time and a Central time on the meeting postings. The special call meetings, it's the same change, Eastern and Central time. In-service training for board members no longer requires a superintendent's presence when you all go to trainings. Administrators' pay is another policy change. We talked about administrators' pay starting next month cannot change any more than where the rest of the entire staff changes. So wherever our administrator pay is at the end of this meeting will be where it's pretty much locked in from now on, minus changes to the entire budget structure and raises. There are some exceptions for approval from the Commissioner of Education, but KDE has not sent out the guidance of how that process is going to work yet. The law doesn't take effect until next month, so we really don't know what it'll look like and if waivers will ever be granted for anybody. There were some changes in the hiring practices. Basically, non-disclosure agreements for employee misconduct are illegal now. So we can't cut a deal with an employee and make a non-disclosure agreement policy's been updated to reflect that. There's changes to how holiday and annual leave pay are calculated for your administrators upon retirement. That's a change that's in there. Used
Does it
to,
increase or decrease?
it will decrease what they can get.
Imagine
It'll put some caps on it. Basically, and I can tell you the reasoning for it if you want to know, but you had a lot of superintendents that especially later in their career, at the end of the last couple of years, just wouldn't take vacation days because they could cash those out and it would help with their pension. And the
So now there's a cap
legislatures,
on that.
and that, yeah, the legislatures have capped that now.
I didn't have that anyway, so it wasn't an issue with us.
I couldn't remember if you had it on your
No,
contract or not.
don't.
Yeah, so another change, used to, you didn't have to report criminal stuff to a superintendent until you were convicted. Now, within 7 days of felony charges, employees have to notify the superintendent they've been charged. There are some changes on school property to revise the types of vehicles we can use and how some non-CDL drivers can transport kids in smaller vehicles, which really opens up with some of the vehicles the district bought in the past year. Those will be able to use for regular transport. If you have situations where a bus can't go, there's only 5 kids in one road, you can use some of those vehicles now, potentially pick up kids. So there's some things there we need to look at. And
You mean far as the bus routes?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, like they
Like
made
those
it where you can buy smaller passenger vans.
Actually do one of those without a CDL.
Yeah, and they've legalized it where you can buy smaller passenger vans to transport groups of students now as well. And the size
Do they
of the
still be
passenger
under
vans.
CDL restrictions?
There's going to be some, yes, and that's, if you want to look at it more in depth, because I didn't go to all the notes on it, but policy 3.1321 in that update will have a lot of that information for you. There's some changes on PD that are going to add training requirements to all employees on appropriate relationships and communications with students and what sexual misconduct is. You know, that's kind of, frankly, the hot topic of the day in school law and school lawsuits. And so now there's some changes from the legislature requiring annual professional development training on that. A lot of the changes on your classified staff are similar to the ones in the certified that we just went through. That training will be, the district can now require certain types of training of classified staff too. If Ms. Smith chooses, she wants classified staff to sit through some of the trainings like we just talked about, she can make them do it as part of the changes.
But that's misconduct stuff, that's gonna be required for everybody, right?
Yeah, that's something I'm sure me and Ms. Smith talked about it a little bit, and doing some different trainings on that.
Yeah, he's gonna come like on our opening day and go over all this stuff to let them know ahead of time. So just an FYI for them.
But, and it is unfortunate, but the level of those cases we're seeing statewide are only going up.
Right. And it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah, and so basically now you're at a point where everybody that interacts with students, we need to do on some level some training on that to make sure they understand the consequences.
We have to go through some of that too.
You will not have to as a board member, no.
I didn't know where we attend some events, and if we go to the schools to visit the schools, we're interacting with the students at some point in time.
Yeah, KSBA, if I was guessing, there may be some courses on the topic when you go to KSBA that you all can attend, but I don't believe it's gonna be mandatory to just count towards your training hours you all have to do anyway. It's mainly more for the people that have day-to-day contact with all the students. But I mean, I can tell you, you need to look no further than Tennessee if you want to see what kind of mess a board member can get themselves into. Because Tennessee's got 2 different ones that I'm aware of right now. And they got 2 board members sitting in jail. Well, I take that back. I think one's actually in jail at the moment and the other's got criminal charges pending, but isn't in jail. So, you're not wrong in your thinking, Eugene. There were some changes to the budget and the calendar timelines for the budget. I'm sure Ms. Smith, as we get to those and set the agendas, those will be pretty routine changes that you all won't notice, but they are in there. There are some changes that will allow us to work more locally to buy Kentucky-grown produce for the cafeteria, ways we can spend some of the food dollars to kind of encourage local farmers and ways for us to interact with them. Those are some good changes. I do think those are things that'll take 2 or 3 years to reach their maximum because farmers didn't necessarily know what was coming. Yeah, you got to plan in advance to have the produce to sell and for the school to know who to call and how to get it. But I think over the next 2 or 3 years, you'll see an increase in local produce in school cafeterias, which will be a positive change for the community. It gives Ms. Smith and the board some opportunity to use local farmers. Those changes are in there. There are some changes to the...
Is that just for produce, or is that gonna take in like, for hamburgers, for
Right now, it's produce.
produce only?
Yeah.
Until you get there.
But the other changes could be coming. I think it's just, part of that, a lot of your food service money in the district comes from federal dollars. So any changes the state makes to help us have to be in conjunction with what the federal law allows. Because most of our lunch money, so to speak, comes from the federal government. That's where a large portion of that money, and you'll notice in the budgets when you all look at them, our food service money is separate from the general budget. And so we are still kind of guided by those federal guidelines as well, but the state is doing what they can to work with the federal government to expand those opportunities and make it easier to use local products. They amended weapons laws in Kentucky, and this is reflected in policy. Bus stops are now within our school's jurisdiction if someone has a weapon at a bus stop. Sad part is, you all know, anytime a law like that changes, it's because something happened somewhere. So I'm not sure what happened at a bus stop, but undoubtedly weapons being at a bus stop was a problem for students somewhere in the state. And so now they've expanded the jurisdiction of weapons prohibitions to land that's considered bus stops.
That's not talking about when they pick them up at home, right?
It is actually,
It's
yeah.
the bus stop.
Well, that gets into private property, don't it?
Well, I'm sure the state owns part of the right of way.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm just telling you what it says. I didn't write the bill. And for us specifically on that, Eugene, this is the good news with what we do as a district working with the SROs. The sheriff's office, apart from the district, will make determinations on criminal conduct on those things. That won't be something we have to determine as a district.
So this generally, that would pretty much fall for under buildings that have their own SRO department, the district.
Yeah, if you had a school law enforcement officer, what they call SLEOs, it could be a huge balancing act for your district between what's private property, what's the bus stop, where do we draw the line, what conduct. But because we don't have SLEOs, what we would do is report to the sheriff's office to investigate, and then they would ultimately, as an independent agency, make a determination on what they want to do with it.
Sometimes my mind runs wild. You get some father or something that's coming out going squirrel hunting or rabbit hunting while they're picking up the kid. And somebody screams, well, he had a gun and the side of the bus and blah, blah, blah. And
Oh,
there you
yeah.
are. I mean, it's kind of opening up another can of worms.
Yeah, and that's where the sheriff's office would have to use their, lack of a better term, their common sense on,
Right.
Were they violating the law, or were they just squirrel hunting and a bus happened to drive by? Like, you know, because there are both, and, you know, so that is a change. What I think is going to be the biggest change, and this is the one I'll kind of stop with, because there's 24 more in here, if you can't tell, but if you have questions, as you look at it for next month, if there's one specific one you want to talk about, we can talk about it. I think there's 2 more. So there's now a religious beliefs excusal. And this came down from a Supreme Court case that was decided last year. But if parents object to parts of our curriculum, they have a right to ask for their child to be excused from that portion of the curriculum under religious beliefs. And we have to honor that request and provide something alternative for the student. I think that's one we could see specifically in some of the different curriculums of state mandates. You may get some requests for that, may get some questions about that, and we'll be providing those excusals per the new policy. And the other one, this is by far the biggest one that's going to affect you all. Now we have to conduct expulsion hearings if a student is alleged to have assaulted a teacher. There is no longer an option. And I will tell you this, it's going to be interesting when this unfolds, and I don't have all the answers yet. I don't think anybody does. Federal law and some of the rights of special education students could be greatly impacted by this new state law, and we're going to be in a balancing act on what we do potentially with certain students when it comes time to consider expulsion. That's something I expect some more guidance to come down as the law takes effect. But it is something we're going to have to be conscious of. And since I've been here, we've not done an expulsion hearing, but I can about guarantee with certainty every district in the state will be doing an expulsion hearing under this new law next year.
Is this, what you're telling me, is this gonna be left up to us, not gonna be left up to the superintendent?
No, it'll be left up.
Will that cross the lines of us getting into the?
No, so the board's always been on the line of expulsion, okay? The expulsion's always been a decision of the board. It's honestly a practice most districts have gotten away from. I mean, and even now, when you expel, every one I've ever done over the last 8 years has been expulsion with services, which basically kind of makes the student a homeschool virtual student.
Then we have to provide that.
Mm-hmm. And you do that to make sure that you're not accused later of denying educational opportunity.
No child left behind.
Mm-hmm. Basically. But the thing before is used to the principal and the superintendent would determine if expulsion hearings were necessary to bring it to you. The state has taken that out of their hands and basically said if a student does X, Y, or Z, you have to have an expulsion hearing. It is not optional, you must have one. And so that is why I feel certain on some level it's inevitable that every district will deal with it at least once or twice next year.
And if we gotta provide them with homeschool services, okay, is that just providing them with the computer stuff and then it's up to them and their parents to take care of that? Or do we have to provide them with a
device and curriculum.
Yeah, so how it looks for each student.
Like an instructor to go into their home and be sure that they're doing it, because that's just what they got in trouble for, is banging on the teacher, getting into it with the teacher, whatever. So is there any fine lines? Are you gonna have to send somebody into that home to?
Yeah, so I will tell you this, when and if we deal with this, Eugene, we're going to treat each case as its own individual case. And before we make decisions on what it's going to look like, what we're going to do, not do, what we're willing to do, not willing to do, those will be decisions that will have to be made on a case-by-case basis, because you will have to judge each one as an individual and the merits of that case. And it's going to be, there's going to be some tough decisions, frankly, but it's going to fall on you all now, where in years gone by, we generally, and this was everywhere, not just here, I think probably.
We've had them in the past, it was quite a bit or quite often until we got the Learning Center. And so I guess the people made the decision that, you know, they were a good candidate for this and will help them still get the in-class thing. But now they also, we have had them, when we expelled them with services, they would meet the person that was over them at like the public library or something. So I don't, isn't that right,
Yeah,
Mr.
they
Miller?
had classes, had it set up, they could be at the library, but
As-
the way it was done, if they didn't show up, and that's why the alternative was done to try to get them to the
So the
education.
instructor didn't really
It
have to
wasn't
go into
yet.
the home, they
No.
met somewhere.
In a public.
In a public place,
Public
yes,
place.
yes. And we used to have quite a few of those hearings
Sure.
over the years. We've been
And
fortunate
that's,
not to.
well, on that, that's kind of been the general trend, is people have been getting away from the rise in alternative schools, you know, learning centers, virtual education, credit recovery, all those things have really kind of changed how academia has treated expulsion hearings over the last 10, 15 years. And it's been something we've been getting away from, but now with the change in this law, the expulsion hearings are going to be mandatory, so we're going to have to do them.
So we have an attachment on all of this?
Oh, yeah, and I've
Yeah.
sent these to you individually in your
Okay.
email instead of even just attached to the board agenda.
So this was just the first reading, was that all you had, Mr.?
That's all I got
Okay.
for the moment.
So
I mean,
that
there's
was
a
the
lot.
first reading, and if you all want to go over that, anybody has any questions or concern before the second reading, we can.
Yeah, you
contact
can call me, email me.
Okay.
If there's one you want to talk about, we'll highlight it, go over it, whatever we need to do.
Okay. Number 14, approval of the 2025-2026 capital funds request form. I need a
You
motion.
need a motion on
No, that's the
No,
first
first
reading.
reading.
the first reading.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Eugene,
Yes.
yes for me. Number 15, approval for renewal of their insurance, including Kentucky Employers Mutual Insurance. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie,
Yes.
Eugene,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
yes for me. Number 16, approval of the Jackson County Public Schools Appeal Panel Ballot 2026-2027. It was to appoint one certified employee and one alternative certified employee, and upon the recommendation of Ms. Smith, she has recommended the appointed as Christy Collett for the certified and Londa Freeman for the alternate. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Eugene,
Yes.
yes for me. Number 17, approval of the 2026-2027 school year Jackson County Public School Systems Community Nutrition and Bid Tabulation. I need a motion.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie,
Yes.
Eugene,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
yes for me. Number 18, approval to discuss and/or approve Red Rover agreement for the Jackson County Schools absent management, time tracking, and hiring. Did you want to discuss on that?
I can. Right now, we use like Frontline and Red Rover and with our Munis. And so this will tie it all into one platform, and it's going to sort of be like a time clock. We can keep up with people better. And so just more accurate right down to our bus drivers, you know, and them saying double runs, and they'll actually have something clock in and out on their bus. School trips, you know, some will do that, and so this is just gonna be a more accurate way of actually tracking all of our employees and their time.
So I need a motion
Make
on
a
that.
motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie,
Yes.
Eugene,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
yes for me. Number 19, approval to discuss and/or approve Tyler Technologies for Content Manager Core Storage System. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie,
Yes.
Eugene,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
yes for me. Number 20, approval of the Jackson County Public Schools Instructional Vision for District-Wide Reading and English Language Arts Program. Is that what we?
That's what Ms. Liz was
Yes.
telling you about.
So we need a motion for that.
Motion.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Okay,
Okay.
who was first?
Rhonda,
Yes.
Eugene,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
yes for me. Number 21, approval to discuss and/or approve virtual academy proposal. I need a motion.
That's the one you was talking about.
That's what I was here saying, that's sort of like what Mr. Blevins was talking about, where we already have our learning center, our alternative school, we want to start a virtual academy, and it will not be for kids that are already enrolled in our district. This is specifically targeting all the homeschool kids to bring them back to our district. We feel like when we go out into the community and actually talk to the parents and they see, you know, we have this program, I think they'll be a little relieved, you know, knowing their kid does still get to stay home, but does provide the instruction, make sure the kids are getting what they need. So that's what this is going to do. And at first, we're going to cap it at 40, just to see how it goes and you know, an instructor, and hopefully it goes well.
How will you choose where you go and who gets it?
Well, it will just be through our learning center already. We'll have the one instructor and our classified person up there already, and so it will be monitored through them.
I mean, this will be going to the homes, right?
This will be going out, the person over the alternative school will go out into the homes to recruit them. So all the instruction will be done virtually. So nobody will be really going out to the homes. They can call and email and do Zoom, you know, so there won't be like a home health, home hospital teacher going out to the homes. Only to get them in, and then it will totally be, and what we're proposing right now too, is them come to us, our learning center, like once a week to check in, to make sure they are, us holding them accountable.
Does this help our attendance and all
We would be
this
getting the
stuff?
SEEK funding for them, so it would be just like they were sitting in our schools. We just
So the
wouldn't be
kids
getting,
that's doing homeschooling with
That
the
we get
parents
no
have to
funding.
pay.
right,
They don't have to pay.
no, it would be us, and we would provide like the.
Does this open it up for them, if it's like them sitting in their home, in the schools, then does this open it up for them to be in the sports?
We've not fully decided on that yet.
Because this would be a gap between what them one come and talk to us about.
Exactly. They would still be enrolled in our school system.
So if they're enrolled in our school system, then that makes them eligible.
No, only if we make a policy to let them, because we would have to develop guidelines and protocol, because it's still not the same as our kids sitting in the seats coming at 8 o'clock and attendance, you know what I mean?
Okay, I was curious.
No, and it can lead to that.
So it's not homebound, like they were a student and they had some condition that the doctor required them to get home services. This is someone that's not a student at all, and they are
Trying
direct,
to back and roll, yeah,
we're just encouraging them to be part of our school system.
yes.
I need a motion.
Make a motion.
Okay. I need a second.
Second.
Eddie,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Eugene,
Yes.
yes for me. Number 22, first reading of proposed new board policy preventing anyone from being a substitute until their class has graduated high school. Would you want to talk
I
about that?
can talk about that. We had 3 employees this year say, got their GED, and then they wanted to come back into our school system and sub, and it's been a problem as far as age, students their own age, and so we are recommending that since they're sort of out, they graduate a little early now with that they have to wait till their graduated class finishes too, so they're not in school working with like their peers, if that makes sense.
So they would have college credit enough to substitute? You don't have to have
No,
that
you only
anymore?
have to have
Okay.
a high school degree now to sub.
So, okay.
Or the
That
equivalent.
changed.
Or the equivalent, which is the GED early, and that's what they were.
So they
Gotcha.
can drop out of school, get their GED,
And then
come back
come to
to
work.
sub with their buddies.
Yes. Yes, so you can see how that probably worked out. So legally, we couldn't deny them, and so we're gonna put this policy in place that we can.
I make a motion.
I second.
Well, wait a minute.
It's the first reading.
Wait just a minute, guys. I think it's just a first reading.
It is, but at least you
I think
understand
we
what we're trying to do.
support. Yes.
Yes. All about it.
Number 23, approval
We
of,
need to take a vote on everybody.
We
I
did.
think
Everybody's
it was just a reading, it
It's
was
the
not,
first reading.
That's a third reading.
I think it
We're
was.
gonna have it in place before August when students come back.
Yes, we will.
Okay, approval of open bids and selection of winning bids for the Jackson County Middle School furniture. I need a motion.
Motion.
I need a second.
Wait, we need a motion to accept the highest bids received.
Yes, and it
Was
was,
there-
am I allowed to say it? It was just like from the Christian Academy, they were the only people that did, and they just went through the selected list and put bid on what they wanted.
That's
So,
why
we'll have
because it's
Put
on-
the other up for bid again.
Right, those that didn't sell this time, we'll just keep it up on surplus, yeah.
I'll make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 24, approval of online programming for the district for 2026-2027. I need a
Make
motion.
a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 25, approval of the Math Nation Middle Grades Research Pilot Next Steps. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Yes for me. Approval to establish and reestablish positions. I need a motion. I
Motion.
need a second.
Second.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 27, approval of fundraisers. I need a motion.
Motion.
I need a s- Rhonda?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 28, approval to enter into executive session by KRS 61.810, KRS 156.557, KRS 61.810. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie,
Yes.
Eugene,
Yes.
Rhonda.
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 29, approval to return to open session. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
I need a second. Eddie,
Yes.
Eugene,
Yes.
Rhonda.
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 30, approval to discuss and/or take action to adopt official report of superintendent's evaluation for the 2025-2026 school year. Mr. Blevins?
All right, so here is the report based on your all's commentary. It says the board evaluated Superintendent Smith on the 7 standards from the superintendent's evaluation model according to the Kentucky Department of Education evaluation, instrument, and procedures for the superintendent professional growth and effectiveness system. The performance standards used in this evaluation are 4, exemplary, exceeds the standard, 3, accomplished, meets the standard, 2, developing, making progress towards meeting the standard, and 1, improvement required. Progress towards meeting the standard goal is unacceptable. Standard goal is required to be addressed with performance expectation agreed upon by the board and superintendent. Superintendent Smith scored the following in relation to each category. Strategic leadership, after averaging the scores of this standard and rounding the average to the appropriate score, Mrs. Smith was given a rating of 4, exemplary in the category of strategic leadership. One board member commented that Mrs. Smith has made changes after becoming superintendent that were greatly needed for our district. Another board member commented that Mrs. Smith isn't afraid to make hard or unpopular decisions. Standard 2, instructional leadership. After averaging the scores of this standard and rounding the average to the appropriate score, Mrs. Smith was given a rating of 4, exemplary in the category of instructional leadership. One board member commented that Mrs. Smith is great at communicating with school leaders. Another board member commented Mrs. Smith continued to make improvements in tech resources and instruction content, which helps teachers and students. Standard 3, cultural leadership. After averaging the score of this standard and rounding the average to the appropriate score, Mrs. Smith was given a rating of 4, exemplary in the category of cultural leadership. One board member commented that Mrs. Smith is very involved with our district and community, and the addition of the daycare is a wonderful addition to our district. Another board member states, simply put, Mrs. Smith shows up and supports the student. Climate within the district continues to improve as she gets more to buy in to build up the district. Standard 4, human leadership. After averaging the scores of this standard and rounding the average to the appropriate score, Mrs. Smith was given a rating of 4, exemplary in the category of human resource leadership. One board member commented that Mrs. Smith makes difficult decisions and holds high expectations for our leaders. Mrs. Smith supports our staff and students, encourages others. Another board member commented, Mrs. Smith seeks out the best person for the job. She's located extra support or resources needed for improvement and hires the best person for the job. Standard 5, managerial leadership. After averaging the scores of this standard and rounding the average to the appropriate score, Mrs. Smith was given a rating of 4, exemplary, in the category of managerial leadership. One board member comments that Mrs. Smith stays on top of the issue and plans for the future. Standard 6, collaborative leadership. After averaging the score of this standard and rounding the average to the appropriate score, Mrs. Smith was given a rating of 4, exemplary, in the category of collaborative leadership. One board member commented that Mrs. Smith communicated well with board members and staff. Another board member commented Mrs. Smith works well with everyone for students' achievement. Standard 7, influential leadership. After averaging the scores of this standard and rounding the average to the appropriate score, Mrs. Smith was given a rating of 4, exemplary, in the category of influential leadership. One board member comments Mrs. Smith is an example of hard work, being a positive example to students, staff, and community county. Hard work and dedication to learning and education pays off. Overall, the board was extremely pleased with Mrs. Smith's year, grading her as exemplary in all 7 categories. At this time, the board is very encouraged by her progress. Our superintendent looks forward to the future of Mrs. Smith. And then I need a motion to approve and second and a vote to adopt this report.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Yes for me. Now, number 31, there was no one in public comment. Okay. And so, number 32, I need a motion to amend agenda to add item number 32 to approve addendum to superintendent contract. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 33, motion to approve addendum to superintendent contract to adjust salary to $134,756 effective immediately. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Yes for me. And number 34, I need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
I need a
Second.
second. Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Yes for me.